why should it be that, you know, this is condoned because it's there in the epics? It should be acceptable because it's a choice that young people are making. You don't have to seek a traditional justification for modern behavior.
I don't think the spectrum is like that of this debate, that on one side either it has to be Kama Sutra, or other side it has to be two young men and women sitting straight tight and worried that somebody will come and attack them and they can't express their love. I think this whole thing has to start from the way you are socialized, and Indian society gives enough space for people to express their love. It's very important for young people to be able to feel comfortable about expressing their love.
Also, if you want to go by the scriptures, you must remember that in scriptures there were stories about Surpanaka, Tataka, where their ears and nose were chopped off. Don't go by that. Don't interpret as per your convenience that I can be Lord Krishna and I can do whatever I want. You are not Lord Krishna. You might have read Bhagavad Gita. You are not Lord Krishna.
Mr. Bhagavad, you're not
we are
Lord
all human
Krishna.
beings.
Why are you trying to behave like him?
It's you who's talking about the culture.
Let me give you an answer to this. I was giving a context to those who interpret Hinduism in a very sanitized and antiseptic way. This is a very pragmatic and a full-blooded religion. It allows for the expression of desire. However, I agree with the point that there has to be a balance. You know, I'll tell you, mimicking a foreign custom mindlessly is, I think, a sign of an immature civilization.
Right, let's come to that in a bit. But Advaita Kala, I want to ask you, is it basically about women? You know, men hold hands and walk around the streets all the time.
Absolutely.
And nobody says anything to them. But it's a man and a woman holding hands, that's the problem.
I think the whole debate is really not about religion, and I hate that it gets contextualized like that, because I think it really is about women at the end of the day. I mean, if you have Western visitors come in, the first thing they notice is how men hold hands on the streets. You know, you don't have that, for example, in the Western world, so to speak. And I think this really is about women, and whether you put it in whatever context. I mean, if you bring Mangalore into this very recently, it was really about the fact that women were seen at these pubs. Pubs have been around forever. But for the first time, you're seeing women drinking.
Sanjay Jain, that's the problem, isn't it? It's the free woman who's the target.
I've never seen men holding hands in public. I've only seen men and women, and I've only done it as men and women and not two women. Let me make that clear.
Okay. Well, you've really not seen the new kind of that we're looking at these days. But Ram Madhav, I want to ask you, it's basically about women, isn't it? I mean, you have a serious moral objection to the way women are dressing nowadays, walking around nowadays, smoking cigarettes on the streets nowadays. These are moral objections that you have.
You see, as far as the whole behavior is not objectionable to rest of the society, nobody has any objection, whether it is a man or a woman, irrespective. I come from Andhra Pradesh, where the toddy tappers, if you go to them, those groups that you find, half of them will be women. And I also come from the state where women go out in groups to destroy erect shops. They do not want those shops. You find various social norms. One has to keep those social customs.
No, so what's your point? That social customs
you cannot
have
just
to
say,
be accepted.
I want to have my freedom. Your freedom ends where my nose begins.
No, I'll tell you.
Yeah, so there's no question of absolute freedom.
I think that works both ways, though. That works both ways.
I want to raise an issue here, Ram Madhav, that who is this society who is going to define? It is not only a group of people. We are giving examples of Krishna or whatever. It's not Hindus who live in this country. It's all other people live. Indian society is a very inclusive culture. It's composite culture. All kinds of people are here. And then, you know, here is a whole, as I said, the spectrum. The Parsi women will wear whatever dress she wants to wear and walk in Bombay. Nobody looks at her second time. And in Bihar, if a woman wears that kind of a dress,
there is no uniform social custom.
Exactly.
Also, you should raise questions,
so who is this
not
society
just about,
you're talking about?
There is no uniform social custom. So if you're saying that it's not the social custom to hold hands,
can we raise this question? Can we raise this question about a burqa?
No, listen.
You say it's people of all religions are living.
That's what
there
we
is
are
this burqa culture. Raise our voice against it also.
Precisely, that's what we are saying.
But that becomes a secular dilemma. You can't raise that question. Let's not do that. Let us don't degenerate the debate into Hindu-Muslim.
I just want to say one thing.
Why only give examples of...
One of the issues that we are avoiding in this debate, and because they are youngsters here, I want to say it, it's a question of context and social responsibility.
Okay.
Now, we come from a profession where women have been smoking for at least 30 years. We know the women today also who are smoking. They were smoking then. So it is that when we are earning members, when we are old enough to decide, and in a certain context, a space, you can do a certain
No, but there is a problem now. I mean, now women who
pub
are...
culture was about illegal bars, and these are unlicensed issue is being avoided.
See, unfortunate
Second
thing
is
about
that
that whole
it's
Mangalore
encouraging
thing.
the culture of drinking at all times
Okay,
of
the
the day,
culture
which
of drinking is now being encouraged.
all
Earlier it
times
was
of
an
the
individual choice. Now
And it was
it's a
limited.
mindlessly imitative culture of drinking.
and
that
24
happens.
hours of the day.
I think when
in
there
press
is...
club, you can drink only after 7. You cannot drink at 5 in the evening.
Okay, let's quickly get in some views here from the audience. Does anyone want to say anything about how one should behave in public? Is it okay in your point of view for a man and woman to walk around openly holding hands and smooching in public?
In my view, the society thinks today is if a boy or a girl is walking on street, they are considered to be boyfriends and girlfriends. Why are this mentality not being changed? Like the people are not safe in public. They think that they are boyfriends and girlfriends.
No, Ram Madhav, respond to that. Why should it be not an innocent act to walk around holding hands?
No, absolutely. I am saying, I have seen it in my childhood. We have had friends who were girls. Nobody raised any objection. This is all some imagination. Something happened in Mangalore, so you want to create a situation where all over the country that is the kind of situation. That's not the case.
No, that in fact...
that is not. I have seen many all over the country people freely roaming around.
In fact, I think a number of women here in the audience have been telling me how threatened they feel if they walk on the streets and they're seen walking hand in hand with a man. But let's come back to this love debate after this very tiny break. Very tiny break, and we'll come back to Jab Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya after this very short.
If you're walking hand in hand, you better be boyfriend.